Hello, trading is closed on Tuesday, November 30th, 2021. I'd like to ask everyone to follow the rules of my channel and to remember my predictions can be completely wrong and any trades you make should be at your own risk. Had a few calls, look for the pattern with the early high. It's usually a rally day, but failure is a straight line drop, and there's your straight line drop. We said that this pattern here, gapping up, higher highs, closing under all the highs, is a negative pattern. If you take this high out earlier, lower prices print. Please notice we have quite the opposite pattern today. We gapped down, hit a lower low, and then closed over this low. So either you take these lows out early, or else you see higher prices. We said we should trade higher and lower than yesterday's close. We've traded lower. The higher target's 46.72, and I've explained this before. I've decided to put parentheses around it and explain it once again. When I wrote my book, I had certain rules, and according to those rules, this would not be a target. I used to have a computer program, and the programmer copied the rules differently than what I had written them. And with his slight change, everything seemed to work. We checked it with the computer over years, and his targets worked too. So it's kind of a fortuitous discovery that according to the modified rules, which I mentioned in the webinar, but not in the book, that 46.72.96 should be a target as well. So we'll add it to the list, but I'm putting parentheses around it because not everybody who bought the book bought the webinar too, and they can't figure out where it comes from. That's the reason. Well, we had an ultimate buy signal, and we had a lower target here, so we certainly got enough to satisfy the buy signal. And as far as the lower target is concerned, we were supposed to undercut these lines, and we did, and there's support under the target. So that has played out. Now this is a chart of the E-mini futures contract. You'll notice these volume spikes are associated with lows. This volume spike on Friday enabled us to say we could have a short-term rally on Monday. Well, that's a pretty good volume spike, and it's compatible with a short-term low. Now, I don't know if tomorrow's volume is going to be higher. I have no way to know. But when it gets high like that, particularly when you're under the lower Bollinger Band, you start looking for lows. Now, futures closed today, I guess, at 45.66.25. They're quite a bit higher now, so maybe that'll work. In any event, when you see volume spikes and moves way under the band, it's not a place I look to initiate short positions. It's not a place I look to hold them without stops. Now, this probably isn't the only way to count this from the all-time high, but this is a sharp drop, but it's not a five-wave pattern. So this whole thing is probably part of an ABC as opposed to a five-wave impulse. And if that's right, and I'm certain this is not the only way to count it, but if it's right, you can certainly count four waves, and maybe the fifth wave is completed, or maybe it has a ways to go, but you can see it's easy to come up with a count that shows the drop is at or pretty close to satisfying a wave down. Now tomorrow's pattern has the early high. We could still gap down. Today's normally bullish pattern was bearish instead. When that happens, usually more weakness follows. However, we have an E-mini volume spike and the wave count showing the drop is complete or nearly complete. We also gapped down, hit a lower low, and closed over the midday low. It's actually a bullish pattern. If we don't take out today's low early, remember tomorrow's open is the equivalent to today's close. If we don't take out that low early, should see a higher price print tomorrow, even if we don't close higher. So it's always darkest before the dawn. We have much lower targets, but this is a MEJT support area from the target we showed. This low is held. Futures are up. There's a volume spike. Maybe we'll have a respite from the sell-off that we've seen tomorrow. But if we undercut this low fast, it's still negative. That's today's call.